Hello, everybody. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Thursday. I am going to show you um, how to work problems to where you're multiplying three different numbers. Now, there is a strategy to this. You all may need to use scrap paper today. You may not want to use scrap paper today. Um, I am going to show you, first of all, different ways that we can solve this problem. Um, and we'll talk about the pros and cons of each one. So 2 times 8 times 5. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to write that here. 2 times 8 times 5. I want to write it 3 times. 2 times 8 times 5. 2 times 8 times 5. You may say, why did you write it 3 times? Well, there's 3 different ways that I can go about solving this problem. You have to think about this strategically. And what I mean is, if you do a little bit of thinking ahead, then it can help you to be successful. So let's just get started. So I want you to write down this problem right now. So if you're at home, I want you to hit pause, write down this problem 3 times, and we're going to work it 3 different ways. So I want you to do this with me. And then hit play when you're finished writing these down. Okay, so let's solve the first one. So I'm going to multiply just 2 times 8. I want you to circle 2 times 8. Now, we're thinking 2 eighths. 2 eighths. So what is 2 eighths? Okay, 2 times 8 is 16. And now I'm not done with the problem. I've got to multiply by that 5. So I'm going to circle times 5, and then I'm going to write it down here. Okay, so to finish this problem, I'm going to have to multiply 16 times 5. That looks like it is a challenge. So let's put this problem on hold, and let's come to the next problem, which is the same problem, but let's solve it a different way. I don't have to multiply 2 times 8 in the beginning. I can multiply 8 times 5. So I've got to get this right. So when I'm thinking about there are 8 fives, I'm going to skip count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so 8 times 5 is equal to 40. And now I need to bring down the 2 also. I need to bring this down. 2 times 40. Now this, I don't know about you, but this looks a lot easier than this right now. Okay, but let's keep going. So I can multiply when I'm multiplying all the numbers, I can multiply the numbers in what I want to. So I'm actually going to multiply 2 times 5. Okay, like that. So 2 times 5, 2 fives is 10. And now I'm going to multiply by my third number, which is the 8th. Okay, so I want you to look at this. If I were to rate these, I'm going to say that this is the easiest because I really like the fact I'm multiplying 10 times 8 right now. I'm going to say that this is the hardest, even though it's doable. You know, I can skip count by 5, 15 times, or I could add up 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16 and so forth. So let's just go from there. Okay, so I'm looking at 2 times 40. Let's just start in the middle, solving this one. So I got 2 40s, basically. So that just means 40 plus 40. Okay, so 40 plus 40 is equal to 80. Okay, so this tells me that the whole problem is equal to 80. Okay, let's look at my other one. 8 tens, I'm going to do, or 10 eights, I'm going to do 8 tens. So I'm going to count tens 8 times. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So I get 80 here too. Interesting. I get 80 on both of them. So this, man, this is different. 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16. I decided to do 5 16s. So I'm going to add up these two 16s and these two 16s. I'll have one left over. So 32, 16 plus 16 is 32, 16 plus 16 is 32, and I've still got to add my other 16. So let's add up my two 32s next. 64. Now I've got to add that 16 to complete it. And I get 80. So I get 83 different ways. Okay, so we've got to think ahead. So let's go back now and let's take a look at this. How do I want you to show this? So even though that you're going to use your scrap paper, okay, I use my scrap paper, but I need to see your way of thinking. So what I'm going to do is show you how I want you to solve this. Well, I'm not going to multiply 2 times 8 first. I'm going to multiply 8 times 5. So 8 times 5 is 40. So I'm going to put a 40 in here. But I'm also going to put a times because I need to drop down the 2. Okay, so what I did, as review, I just multiplied 8 times 5 and got 40. And now I need to drop down my 2. Now, I've already done this work on my scrap paper. Okay, so I already solved this over here. Same problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go back, and 40 times 2 is equal to 80. Let's look at this other one. I'm going to multiply. This is how you're going to show your work to me today. I'm going to multiply 8 times 5 first, and 8 times, wait a minute, yeah, I'm sorry, 2 times 5. And 2 times 5 is equal to 10. I still have an 8, so I've got to put times 8. And if I multiply 2 times 8, if I multiply 2 times 8, I am going to get 80. Okay, so that is two different ways that I've solved the problem. Okay, now let's look at the next one. Okay, so on this problem, we've got, I purposely set it up to where that we've got the same problem on both boxes. 2 times 4 times 5. On the other side, 2 times 4 times 5. So this time I'm going to think ahead and try to figure out what maybe I have a choice in this to see how I want to solve it. So I like the fact that I'm going to multiply 2 times 4 first. And I like that because in my mind, I already know that's 8. 2 fours is 8. And then I'm going to multiply 8 times 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put down 2 times 4 is 8 and then multiply it by 5. Now, I'm going to come back to it in a second. I want to come over here to the other side. Let's talk about a different way that I could have done this. On this one, if I multiply 4 times 5, I'm going to get 20. Then I'll have to multiply that 20 by 2, which will be 2 times 20. Or I like the fact better that I could multiply 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is equal to 10. And now I can multiply that by the other number. Now, if I needed to, I could have come to my scrap paper, okay, and I could have solved out the problems. I want you to remember that. That is perfectly okay to do that. Okay, so now come back to this problem, 8 fives. Okay, I'm going to skip count by 5s 8 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And on this side, I'm seeing 10 fours. I'd rather do 4 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40. Yeah, so I got the same answer both times. Now let's talk about what you're going to do today. On the next problem, this is what you've got. So we're going to do the first one together. So you're going to pick out the way that you want to solve the problem. Okay? So you can solve it any way you want to. I'm going to solve it the hard way on the first one for you. So I'm going to go to my scrap paper. It's 5 times 2 times 4, 5 times 2 times 7. So 5 times 2 times 7. So let me show you what could happen if you don't think ahead. I'm going to multiply the 5 and the 7 first. So I'm going to think about it being 7 fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And now I've got to multiply 35 times 2. So I've got two 35s. So 35 plus 35 is equal to 70. Okay, so I've done this work. I need to go back. So the first thing that I multiplied, I'm going to put it in my box. I multiplied 5 times 7, and I got 35. So if you get 35, I'll know what you did. And now I've got to multiply that by 2. On my scrap paper over here, I've already done that. And I know that answer is 70. So now I'm just going to go back and put in the answer of 70. Now, on the next one, think about these. If you multiply 3 times 4 first, then you'll multiply it by 2. Maybe you would multiply 3 times 2 and get 6, and then multiply that by 4. That'll be up to you, okay? Ever how you want to solve it. But remember, there's a good opportunity that you're going to need scrap paper. If you think through the problems, you may not have to use scrap paper at all. Okay, so no calculators on these. No calculators. Do it in your mind and or use scrap paper. Okay, you got a review here. I want to see you guys use the rods, okay, or make the connection to know what 6 times 7 is. Maybe you could figure out what 6 times 70 is. New feature, I've added individual text boxes for every one of these. Okay, you're multiplying and dividing by 4. Here, 7 times what number is 28? 28 divided by 4 is what answer? Okay, so let's look at the next one. 7 times 8 times what is equal to 8 times 7 times 2? So when you're looking at these problems, you want to have the same thing on both sides. So if this side has an 8, that's got an 8. This side's got a 7, that side's got a 7. So what is my missing number? 3 times 40, and then you got a word problem about Mr. Shores. And that concludes today's work. Work hard. Listen, my Google Meets are from 7:30 to 9, 1 to 2. Have your parents text me if you need help on this, and I will join you, okay? All right, guys, thank you all very much. Have a great day.